Hey everyone, recently one of our subscribers Sumit Patel cracked Java backend developer at Oracle. He has shared everything with me. So basically he had applied through LinkedIn and he's having total 5 years of experience. So this role was a senior Java developer. Basically he was having total 2 technical rounds and I'll be sharing both rounds question in this video. Also I'll give short answers of each question just to give you context. And guys, if you want to share your experience, then please fill the form below in the description and please make sure to subscribe to see such real interview experiences. So now let's get started. Guys, interviewer first asks how to design a microservice for an order management feature. List the DBs and APIs and services you would create. So guys, answer of this question may vary from person to person, but let me give you a short answer. We have to create services like order service, payment service, inventory service and notification service, etc. We have to use a relational database for orders and payments and maybe NoSQL for logs or trackings, right? APIs would be like create order, update order, cancel order, get order details, etc. Then each service handle its own database and business logic. Then interviewer first asks how would you do inter-service communication between microservices. So guys, this is very important question. So services communicate using REST APIs for simple calls. For async communication, we could use a Kafka or message queue. Then interviewer asked how to implement distributed tracing and logging. So we could use tools like Zipkin or Sleuth for tracing request flow across services. And also we could use centralized logging tools like ELK Stack. Then interviewer asks if a downstream service is a slow, how would you protect your service? This is most common scenario based question. So here we could use circuit breaker to stop repeated calls to failing service, apply retry with limits and timeouts, and use fallback response to keep system running. Then he asks explain idempotency in REST APIs and how to design an idempotent endpoint. So this is very common question guys. So idempotency means calling the same APIs multiple times gives the same result. In order to write APIs, we could use a unique idempotency key or request ID, store it and ignore the duplicate request. This prevents duplicate orders or payments. Their interviewer asks how to handle schema changes for events, messages between services. So we could use versioning in the events and keep backward compatibility. Add new fields instead of removing old ones and use schema registry and proper documentations. Then interviewer asks how to manage configuration for multiple microservices. So guys, configuration is managed using a central config server instead of keeping it inside each service. Tools like Spring Cloud Config store configs in one place and services read them at a startup. Then he asks how does JPA Hibernate lazy loading work? So lazy loading means related data is loaded only when it is actually needed, not at the start. Hibernate creates a proxy object and fetches real data when we access it. This improves performance by reducing unnecessary database calls. Then guys, interviewer asks what is n+1 select problem and how to detect and fix it. So basically n+1 happens when one query fetches main data and many extra queries fetch related data, slowing performance. It can be detected using SQL logs or Hibernate logs. It is fixed using join fetch, entity graph or proper fetch type settings. And guys, before moving to the next question, I would like to share one important thing with you. Actually, Sumit prepared from our interview preparation kit. So let me tell you, this interview preparation kit has 4 main parts. First is complete interview preparation material. It is a step-by-step material made by me, expert and MNC's interviewers. 99% of the questions asked in interviews are covered in it. Second is 2 real enterprise client projects. Code and video recorded sessions are there and you can add this in your resume. Third is lifetime chat support. Here you can ask your doubts anytime. Fourth is referral support. Here we help you to get referred to the top MNCs. So basically guys, the material is organized as per your experience level and covers Java, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA, microservices, Kafka, Maven, Git coding questions, Stream API coding questions and many more. You can buy just the complete interview preparation material or the full kit with project supports and referrals. I have added the links in the description below. So now moving to our interview experience. As an interviewer asked to explain the transaction isolation levels with examples. So isolation levels controls how transactions sees each other's data. For example, read committed prevents reading uncommitted data, while serializable ensures full data safety but is slower. Higher isolation gives more consistencies but reduces performance. Then guys, interviewer asks when to use messaging versus REST. So we should use REST when we need a quick request response communication between services, and we should use messaging like Kafka or RabbitMQ when task can be asynchronous and reliability is important. Then interviewer asks how do you structure unit integration and contract test for microservices. So unit test checks small parts like methods using mocks. Integration test verify service with DB or APIs. Contract test ensures communication between services works as expected. Together they make the microservices reliable and safe to deploy. Then he asks how to dockerize a Spring Boot application. So first create a Docker file, add the jar file and define the Java run command. Builds an image using Docker builds and run it using Docker run. This makes the application portable and easy to deploy anywhere. Then he asks how to roll out a new version in production with minimal downtime. So we could use strategies like blue-green deployment or rolling updates. Deploy the new version gradually while the old version is still running. If issues happen, roll back quickly. This basically avoids downtime for users. Then guys, interviewer asks how would you design a payment microservices that process payments and notifies other services. So basically, in order to create a payment service with APIs to initiate and verify payments, first store transaction data in a secure database. After payment, publish events to notify order or notification services, right? And use retries, loggings, and security to ensure reliable processing. Then interviewer asked to tell me about a production incident you handle. So guys, you have to answer this as per your project experience. Then he asks how does Spring Boot uses the server, how to change the default Tomcat to Jetty. So basically Spring Boot comes with an embedded server like Tomcat inside the starter dependency, so we don't need to deploy a war file separately. It runs using an embedded container when the app starts. To use a Jetty instead of Tomcat, we should exclude Tomcat dependencies and add Spring Boot starter Jetty. Then guys, he asked to explain the profiles in Spring Boot and how to manage different configuration for dev, stage and prod. So profiles allow different configuration for different environments like dev, test or prod. We create files like application dev.properties and application prod.properties. Spring loads a configuration based on the active profiles and making the environment management easy. The interviewer asks how to implement exceptions handling in REST controllers or global exception handler basically. So we should use controller advice with exception handler methods. It catches exceptions globally and returns proper error responses, right? This keeps controller clean and handler errors in the central place. The interviewer asks how to secure REST endpoints with Spring Security. So guys, by using Spring Security, we configure authentication and authorization rules. For jot, user logs in, gets a token and sends it in a header for every request. This server validates a token before allowing the access. Guys, an interviewer asks explain transaction annotation, propagation and isolation levels, and also give a transactional scenario, right? Bug and fixes also, right? So basically propagation defines how transaction behaves when one method calls another, like required or requires new. Isolation controls how data is visible between transaction. A bug example would be like dirty read when isolation is low, and we can fix it by increasing the isolation level like reads underscore committed. Then he asked how would you implement async task in Spring Boot. So guys, we should use enable async annotation in the configuration and mark methods with async annotation. Spring runs those methods in a separate thread. We can also configure a custom thread pool using task executor. This helps run background tasks without blocking the main request. Then he asked how does string immutability help security and performance? What are intended strings? So string is immutable, so its value cannot be changed once created, which makes it safer for passwords and URLs. It also allows string pooling, saving memory. Intended strings are stored in a common pool, so identical strings share the same memory reference. Then guys, he asked explain hash code and equals method contract and give an example bug when broken. So if two objects are equal using equals, their hash code must be the same. If this rule is broken, collections like hashmap may not find the object correctly. For example, putting an object in hashmap and then not being able to retrieve it due to wrong hash code implementation, right? Then guys, interviewer asked to explain the Java thread lifecycle and thread pool executor parameters like core pool size, maximum pool size, keep alive. These are some parameters. Okay, so a thread goes through states like new, runnable, running, waiting and terminated. So in thread pool executor, core pool size is minimum thread kept alive. maximum pool size is maximum allowed threads, and keep alive time is how long extra threads stay idle before closing. Then interviewer asks us to explain the method overloading and method overriding and what's method hiding. So overloading means same method name with the different parameters in the same class, right? Whereas overriding means redefining a parent class method in a child class. Method hiding happens when a static method in child class hides the static methods of a parent class instead of overriding it. Then guys, interviewer asks few coding questions like to reverse a linked list and explain complexity as well. And also you are given an array of integers, find the longest subarray with sum is equal to k, and also implement the thread save LRU caches. So there were 3 coding questions in total, 2 rounds. So guys, I'll upload these coding solutions in the description. And guys, this is all about Oracle Senior Java Developer Interview experience of Sumit. And guys, if you find this video helpful, then please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye bye.